What's up, everybody? Welcome back into the Play the Fight Song College Football Show. Another offseason week is upon us, which means another time to talk college football. Searching for offseason topics, it felt like there was one hot topic around the college football world this week. Well, besides another, and that's the top 10 coaches within the sport. So that was what will be covered tonight on the show, along with a concession or stadium food debate, along with college football news, which there's actually a plenty this week that you may have missed. So appreciate you joining us. Make sure you hit the like button on this video, hit the subscribe button to the channel if you haven't before. The crew is all here, full house. Reese, JP, Jake, myself. Gentlemen, how are we doing tonight? JP, you first.
Hey, Reese, you got that hat from our boys over at Shop No Rivals. I had actually someone reach out to me on that specific hat. They want
fire hat.
It was,
I think it was top ones right here.
So definitely jump over there, check them out. But that hat specifically was called out by a guy who went to Kentucky and said, I didn't get my hands on that. Hopefully they're back.
Was that Mr. Nick McKay?
Yes, he was curious. And I said, I think they're sold out right now.
Sioux Falls, stand up.
Yeah. I don't think he's the Sioux Falls shaper is over there.
Why would Sioux Falls stand up for that one? Oh, he lives there.
He lives there. I see him at the gym once in a while.
I thought you were like, because he went to, but he played at South Dakota State. I'm like, why would he give a shit about Sioux Falls? Okay, he lives there now. Yeah.
I think Jake's a bigger Sioux Foo guy than he is, but
Sioux Foo, the Falls.
I'm more tenured. That's all. I'm just more tenured than he is. He hasn't had a chance to really love it yet.
You know, Jake, at some point you're going to become like that Let It Fly restaurant. You're going to end up in Omaha. Just bigger, better, bolder. A little more intact.
It's the land of opportunity.
No comment. No comment.
Yeah, I'm not. We're not gonna. I'll take Jake as bad mouthing Omaha, as there's like a 90% chance he's living there because he did the same thing to Sioux City. I'm never going back. Legitimately moves back and lives there, and now he's back in Sioux Falls. So man of his word, except for when it comes to living. So we'll see where that goes. But I like the shameless plug there from JP. Shop No Rivals, our great partner. Shout out to them. You can check our YouTube short. I kind of did a full rundown of the care package they sent the boys. The boys do not have their hands on those beautiful caps yet, but you can have your hand on the best cap in collegiate sports at shopnorivals.com with code PTFS for free shipping on any hat on the website. New designs coming soon. Teasers. They're always doing things. I know, right?
I'm pumped to have that Hawaii hat. That Hawaii hat was sweet, man.
I actually put it on display. It's right here.
Yeah, it is right there.
I used it in display. I kind of spread out the wealth. There's a Syracuse one.
There is everything.
Yeah, trying to we got to do
That's my Syracuse one. That is that one. I thought it was a Nebraska. That was your Nebraska one.
No, we got the PTFS one. I spread the wealth around, but shout out to No Rivals. Awesome hats that they delivered to the team. Make sure you get one. Code PTFS for free shipping. Back to the boys. How you doing, Jake? Outside of you getting pestered on where you live.
That's just another show. Everybody just tackles
just another day.
Fine. I got a question. Which politician are we having on the show?
Jesus, Jake.
No.
Who's your local congressman? Who's your local councilman that we know?
Anybody get any politician ties?
I don't think there's. I think there might be equal hatred for the video swirling around the internet that we will not talk through. But for Jim Pillen in Nebraska is facing about the same amount of heat for all the Bill Moose information. Well, all the Bill Moose news came out, and he was so involved in the former Nebraska athletic department's jobs and titles that, yep, see, there we go. And so there's a lot of hatred for around him in the athletic department right now. So we're going to avoid that name too. So we'll actually keep politics completely out of the show, and appreciate you doing that, Jake. That felt like my Parker Kingston throw in at the end of the show last week.
No, that's not as bad. That's crazy.
I mean, well, yeah.
It depends. Yeah, two sides of the coin. I don't know.
Yeah.
It depends on how dramatic you want to be in life. I'm good. I'm looking over at our commission down there of our college football league, and I'm thinking I need to play Woo Pig next year because somebody on this podcast is 2-0 versus people so far. So I'm looking at Woo Pig, and I'm thinking I need somebody on my schedule next year because if the new guy goes 3-0 against the college football guys, I don't know.
Hey,
we might have to throw down right there, Reese, underneath your name, instead of Shop No Rivals and Frost Buddy, run the RPO. Just put that under there. That's
Reese,
your new
I think
I've done my research on how to beat that and handle that, especially when I have
he wants a rematch.
Chief.
Oh, yeah. Too bad he didn't do it before the game started. That's tough.
No, I got my ass beat so bad.
I didn't know that's all I was getting. I've never seen 75 overall linemen misplace people the way I was getting misplaced.
But, RPOs, man. RPO. If you don't know it, college football, pretty good.
I have a formal announcement regarding the pod, or not the pod, but regarding the dynasty to do on the pod here.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, a lot of thoughts, a lot of discussion going around. Have had opportunities, but we don't know what one's going to come this year, but this will be my last year with the Raging Cajuns.
It's big announcement. This is the College Football 26 dynasty.
Or
Job offers.
I haven't had really good job offers the last 2 years. I had Georgia Tech twice, Stanford once. I want to be in the Big Ten or in the ACC. I don't know if
feels
those
left
jobs
out.
would be open. No, I just know, I'm playing up, I'm punching above my class, and I'm not getting the respect for it. So I'm going to come punch at the same weight level.
I think Vandy might have a job opening here soon for you there, JP.
Yeah,
Come
didn't
join.
Vandy put 70?
They got beat.
They don't need me.
And they also got beat by Arkansas. They're definitely going to have a job open here pretty soon. But all right, let's leave the College Football 26 dynasty there. Let's talk college football, gentlemen. Let's lead it off with tonight's question of the week, which is college football pertaining. Always hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Shameless plug there. Best stadium food in college football, or concession food, whichever way you want to frame it. I think this is an interesting question, and I like it because there's so many different levels to it based upon your school. You may have different concession options. It's not just the standard, hot dog, burger, pizza. It could be a local tie to a chain that's only in the city of your school. So what stands out to you both personally and maybe somewhere else you've been as a general level? So this is the one item you love, but at Iowa, if you're JP, this item they have, you got to try it. This is the one I would go to. What do you think, JP?
Yeah, I mean, Kinnick specific, there's really not much that you would really point out to. I think like Carver Hawkeye and basketball specific, it's the Carver Cone, which is basically the same thing that Iowa State has as the Cyclone Cone. Yeah, it's the same
Clone
concept. Okay, but I think yours is just vanilla colored, right? It's not two different flavors.
Is yours
Yes,
different? Is your different flavors? All right, I can
Is
respect
the
that.
ice cream black and yellow?
No. See, that's what I was gonna say. Like, it's a normal color, so you could get twist or chocolate or vanilla, but they had a raspberry one too, and you could raspberry twist. That's pretty damn good.
I actually appreciate that better than the clone cone because it's just vanilla ice cream. But I also the name Carver Cone is terrible.
What's the special about
what is so different between Cyclone or what do they call it?
Clone Cone and Carver Cone?
Yeah. What is the true difference?
Carver Hawkeye Arena is like bottom 5 arena in college basketball, but that's
so it makes the ice cream suck.
You can call it something else. I don't know. I feel like there's a better name.
Not enough energy in each bite.
Well, there's always there's alliteration with this. They're trying to do the same thing. I don't know.
Yeah, but for this,
wait, what's so special about the Cyclone Cone? Like it's just a vanilla ice cream cone?
Yeah,
it's red
cone. It's red and yellow, and it's vanilla. It's terrible.
No,
I think the clone cone. I think the clone cone's way overrated. I'm just saying the name
or something.
The name Carver Cone is kind of.
Do they sell the Cyclone cone at Jack Trice?
The clone cone, yeah, they do both.
They do.
Okay. Jack Trice, and because that's why it's called the clone cone.
It's either way too hot for the ice cream at a football game, or way too damn cold to have an ice cream. You're gonna get free.
I'm glad Justin brought that up. Mine was gonna be does a fireball shooter count?
No,
that's what
they
I
don't
was
sell
gonna put.
booze at.
Oh, that's right.
Booze.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, that's my own concession stand.
Yeah, unfortunately,
I was just thinking because I thought about this. Like you always, when you traveled in high school, different high schools had better concession stands than others, and so you would like have specific things.
There's popcorn.
I think there's an overall champ in this category, and there's like your normal. You'd put them up there like it's everywhere kind of thing. I think my overall champ concession or stadium food, walking tacos. Kind of a Midwestern staple. It's not everywhere.
I don't think
a walking taco.
Yeah, I was just say they don't.
You're getting it every time, right? You're not going to have a bad walking taco. It's the same chips. It's it's the meat.
That feels like a high school thing.
Yeah,
but I think they have them other places too. That's why I was saying like this is probably more specific to that level.
Morningside swung around. We had to work the concession stand, and I remember making those walking tacos.
There's like at Jack Trice, they try to keep the line moving, so they don't do walking tacos because I feel like that would just take too long. I don't know.
Yeah,
got to get back to the game.
Though. I think also, have you realized that they make Doritos bags for these? Like they make them specific for walking tacos now.
I don't know.
I was that when I was growing up.
Smart, very smart.
I'm glad we call them walking tacos and not tacos in a bag like some illiterate people out there in the planet call them that.
Oh, look at that! Yeah. Rice has walking tacos at football games. GA,
hey, that's badass.
I appreciate that GA has been to a
wait. They have walking tacos in Texas. I thought it was a super Midwestern thing.
No, yeah, that would count. My question is, what chip? Is it a universal Dorito play, or is there a Frito player out there?
No Fritos. I don't like Fritos, but some people.
I've only ever seen Doritos.
Yeah, that's the right move on that behalf. I would think on the Nebraska side of things, personally, it's just changed. So for my entire life, it's been runza for a sandwich. And if you don't know what a runza sandwich is, it's basically a warm bread pocket full of beef, cabbage, onion, cheese, and deliciousness. And then the Valentino's Pizza, which is a Midwest local chain. I don't want to say it's just Nebraska. I think they have some outside of it. Maybe it's just Nebraska.
I feel like it's outside Nebraska, but I only have ever seen them in Nebraska.
Maybe I'm thinking of Godfather's is outside of Nebraska, but I know
Godfather's Pizza
national.
Okay, no, Godfather's not national.
Yes, it is.
No, it's Midwest. I promise.
Oh, really?
Nobody knows do it. Nobody knows that. It's just a local. Godfather's just Midwest.
I didn't recognize that.
But Valentino's is the pizza. And then the last one's it used to be an Omaha Steaks cheeseburger, I guess Hot Topic now. That will change. But then they just added like some fun stuff with the new concessions like brisket mac and cheese, which I ended up trying last year. It was like I think it was the Houston Christian game. I made the work down there. However, Iowa State, Jake, you said they do a good job of rotating people through and getting people in and out. Nebraska has people who shit in moving fans run the concession stand. If you want food, you better have a $1.50 free to stand in line. It's abysmal.
Well, if you're doing that much stuff like brisket mac and cheese, 100%. That's what. Yeah,
but they're all different stations. I just think nobody back there cares to move any bit of speed. Like they're just players of like York softball working the stand.
Iowa State's like concession stand is super basic. Like it's very bland. I can't remember the last time I ordered food at the stadium.
Yeah, I don't usually, but they
do bring in like something. Because Iowa State, like you can drive vehicles through the concourse because it's not bolted in. They have the big ramps. So like they bring in food trucks sometimes. Like Dippin' Dots is a big thing. And for what's that? A slushy, not slushy, frozen ice. What's the name for that? An icy? God, what am I? No, it's not a snow cone. Snow cone. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Snow cones are big. But yeah, as far as Iowa State's, I have no recommendations, but I have had a cougar tail at BYU, and that's
what's that?
It's a foot long.
That could go a couple ways. That's a bold name.
Foot long donut. It's actually really good. It's a foot long donut.
It's just a donut.
Do you have a picture of you eating the foot long donut?
I don't have it. Name is descriptive as it is.
Ben Grody, my friend out there, he lives in Utah. I went to the BYU basketball game the other night. He got one. Yeah, that's really good. And they give I don't know if you guys, I've said this before, but when you
describe the donut to me though, it's just glazed.
Yeah. Is it like a churro?
It's just a glazed donut. It's like a foot long glazed donut. Yeah, it's really good.
Like a Long John.
Tell me when
you get it Casey's.
There's nothing on the inside. It's just a glazed donut.
How much?
I have actually, I don't remember. Somebody gave it to me for free. Okay. They're nice people. They sell chocolate milk at the concession stand at BYU too. And then they gave us, what did they get? Oh God, they give the away team something else for free. And I cannot remember what it was. Was it ice cream?
We also booze out there in Utah. So
if you're fans of an away team, you get it for free.
The away team, they bring you, I think
it's a great perk.
I think it was ice cream, but I cannot remember to save my life. But it was something. They gave us something for free if you sat in the actual away team section.
Oh,
am I far off in saying college football? I feel like is less for stadium food and more you eat at the tailgate.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
Probably, yeah.
But pretzel, popcorn, nachos, burger, hot dog. Where are you going?
Hot dog,
popcorn. Hot dog. I mean, hot dog's a must for me at a baseball game.
What about like Iowa State has chicken strip baskets? Like if I were to get something, you'd probably do that.
If I'm a little, if I'm a little buzzed, a pretzel. I love me a pretzel when I'm a little buzzed.
With salt, without salt,
with cheese or no cheese.
I could do either or. I think I'd prefer with some cheese.
Both, please.
Salt guilty pleasure. If it's okay to sound like a fat ass, cinnamon sugar pretzel with icing for dipping.
But they don't have those.
Never.
That's just tell me where that's at.
You tell me where that's at. It's at Auntie Anne's, I guess. But I don't know if they have it in the stadium. I don't eat in the stadium very often. If I do, I buy it from some like 13-year-old standing there with like just a bag of runzas. Like $7. Yeah.
Syracuse just had like, it was like, where you walk into like a store, you grab whatever, then you walk out. Like they didn't have, you walk up to the register and order these things. Like they just had guys behind in a kitchen, and then it's like the shelves coming out of like burgers, chicken, hot dogs, pretzels. So it wasn't like you ever go to order. You just walked in with the line, grabbed it, went to the register, walked out. So you never were gone for that long.
That's what it was like at Orioles games, which I loved. You just walk up, grab what you want.
Yeah.
And
Elite concessions.
Ding, 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 ding. It is
Smart.
too. You ever had a crab mac and cheese hot dog? I have. Whoa.
I feel like baseball.
Say that again.
Baseball is definitely the venue to serve food because people have
it's a longer
plenty
experience,
of times
downtime.
Yeah, that's definitely where you get.
And you get a beer bat at Wrigley.
Okay, let's be very clear here. I'm lucky enough to have been to Wrigley. Worst concessions in the MLB. I mean, horrible. The Chicago dog, they don't even serve it to you with like Chicago dog toppings on it. There's just a station that you put it together, and the station looks like a Burlington coat factory. There's just shit everywhere. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Terrible concessions.
You know what else they don't have?
But it's beautiful.
Natty Bows.
Yes, Natty Bows, the official beer of Baltimore.
Great stuff.
Great stuff. There's elite stuff around the MLB. That is definitely where stadium food lies. Yeah, sure. Yeah, take a trip out to beautiful Baltimore. It's a great time of year.
You just convinced our 3 listeners that they're like, you know what I'm doing this summer?
AKC fired up.
I'm going to Baltimore.
GA's booking his flights to Baltimore right now for an O's game.
Make sure you stay at the Hilton right outside the stadium. Don't go 2 miles west. That's my best.
Right where that stadium is, and right where like Pickles is, and those couple bars, and then towards the harbor is gorgeous. And then you kind of go farther towards. I can't remember all the names.
Like 5 minutes further, by the way.
It is.
It's not gorgeous.
Perfect. It's perfect. Yeah. We stayed in an Airbnb 100 feet from Camden Yards. Walked in, went to Pickles, hung out there for a couple hours, went into the game, walked back. It was great.
It's a fun experience. Check out an MLB stadium. They definitely get the nod for best stadium food. I feel like college football is a little less. I did see some crazy food items for the college football playoff. I think it was the national championship game. They did that like $180 gigantic steak, correct?
I feel like if those pro stadiums probably go way more above and beyond, like Atlanta, Miami. I'm trying to think who else plays in an NFL stadium. Just like those neutral site games, like they go above.
UNLV.
UNLV probably has big concession stand. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Let's leave that conversation there. That's a good question, though. What's your favorite stadium food? If you're listening in, drop it in the comments. What is your stadium food? And it can be certain to your team. Overall, I'm going hamburger, probably. Like a cheeseburger is what I would go with anywhere.
Hot dog.
Hot dogs are good.
Give me that.
All right. Let's go to college football news. This week, we had a lot of news and stories swirling around. Let's lead it off with the first one, which pertains to Tennessee's starting quarterback from the 2025 season, and Joey Aguilar. He was denied his injunction, and we will not have eligibility for the 2026 season. Just a little background on this situation, gents. 2019 was the first year that Joey Aguilar played college football. He wanted to play in 2026. He was stretching it out. However, there are a plethora of players trying to do the same. He was somebody who just didn't get the grant to do so. I think a lot of it had to do with him not receiving, getting that red shirt from an injury. He just was redshirted a couple of years at a different junior colleges. He went to 2 of them. What do you think on the news? Do you like it? Are you pro less old guys in college football and more back to what college football is supposed to be? Where do you stand on the situation, JP?
I think we've kind of lost this, and I wrote this, in some other spots I think Reese put the Chambliss things in the notes, and I had more comments on that, but we're walking a fine line. You can't really pick and choose what side you're on because the NCAA is going to do this, and whatever the school is or conference is going to say this, and it's just a mess, right? You're just going to have to listen and see if they step on the field on Saturday. The more interesting part of this is now you have more or less of an idea of what that quarterback situation is at Tennessee and what Tennessee can be overall, right? Now it's now a 3-headed monster. Presumably, this would be a completely 3-person race, maybe just a 2-person race with Faison Brandon, who will be a freshman, is a 5-star kid they brought in, signed a couple years ago, actually, and had him locked into Rocky Top. Ryan Staub, if you remember, was at Colorado, started a couple games for them. He's there now. And then George McIntyre's been on campus a couple of years. So maybe 2, maybe 3-person race. I think that's more interesting from the Tennessee side, outside of just like the Joey Aguilar thing is what it is, I think, right? When you're going for a 7th or 8th year of eligibility, it is what it is. But now we get to see another new quarterback in a Heupel system where you've seen, how good it could be with the Hendon Hooker, the promise of what it was going to be with Nico, and then kind of the disappointment of it. You turn it over to Joey, and you just need to he did exactly and probably a little more than what was expected of him. And now you get to flip a new page, and it's blank. And we got to find out what Tennessee is and what's that next step for Heupel, this offense. And honestly, them on the national stage.
It's a good story for Tennessee. I think I would agree. He did a little bit more than what I expected him to with how late that move came for him to become the starting quarterback there. It was kind of a crazy situation, but I'll address the question back to Jake. How do you feel about the lawsuit side of it? Are you okay with a player not getting that 7th or 8th year of eligibility? Because a little bit more of a backstory, there's 57 eligibility lawsuits across the country that have been filed. 31 of them have been denied preliminary injunctions, and 12 have been granted. 7 of the injunctions that were granted came from localized state courts. Obviously, I think that made a play in this case. But what do you think on the overall look of all of this happening for these 7th and 8th years, Jake?
I can't say that I'm super sad to see 25-year-old Joey Aguilar not.
Sounds like you're choked up about it, but go ahead.
I know. I can't say that I'm sad to see 25-year-old Joey Aguilar take the field for Tennessee again. He was a fine college quarterback. He was good for what they had for a year, but I think if you're a Tennessee fan, I think you want a fresh start, and that's a little scary, especially in this day and age when you missed on a guy like Sam Levitt who visited campus. But it's time to restart, and it's time to get somebody in there who might be the future for you, or might not be, and you just have to move on to somebody next year. But I don't think anybody at Tennessee would be necessarily celebrating if Joey Aguilar was quarterback. Now, things could happen. We know what you get out of him. His ceiling is super, I would say it's pretty low, but his floor is really high. So it could have been something where you get another 8 or 9 wins, but like, were you really making a college football playoff with Joey Aguilar? I don't know. It depends. He was fine last year.
It clearly depended on what the we've had this 2-year sample size, of the defense and what it was, how elite it was, to how kind of questionable and beatable it was last year. I think if that improves, he's 100% a guy who can get you to the college football playoff and probably win a game. I don't know if anybody disagrees or if you think differently.
Like Chambliss is going to be 24 in August, so I'm excited to see Chambliss again. I wouldn't want to see him another year. The Diego Pavia stuff got pretty tiresome. Like even a guy like that who's fun for the sport, draws a lot of attention, made Vanderbilt really good. Like it kind of defeats the purpose of what college football is all about. And I don't know how you change it, because a guy like Chambliss gets, I don't know if he's officially approved, but at least he won the civil case in the state of Mississippi. I think it's still
he will play for the Rebs.
But how does that work when the NCAA says no, though? Like, how does that work?
They have a chance to
appeal it?
I'm looking for appeal that again to someone else.
That's basically what these preliminary injunctions is based off the appeal. If you're granted to hear your case, once they do, that ruling that comes down from either the state judge or the nationwide judge, that is the decision that is played. Trinidad, he's a go. As far as I know and what I read through, he will play quarterback for the Rebs in 2026. Aguilar is a no-go. He cannot. There's no further appeals he can file.
That's just confusing process to me. How like you can like the NCAA, like, he plays for the NCAA. And
it's a mess. It's a very
the state says yes he can play, like, but he has to play for the NCAA. Like, how the hell does that work?
And then there's I think there's a Utah State linebacker that's going to be in his 9th year this year. So like, where do you draw the line? I really thought.
At what point do you lose a step? Like, there's no way he's going to parties with his boys, right?
Well, he's at Utah State in general.
No, he's putting money in his Roth IRA after his 6th year.
Yeah, I feel like if your insurance goes down, your car insurance, because you reached 25, like you're ineligible. Sorry. Like if you accepted a lower rate from State Farm, you cannot play.
You now have to pay your own health insurance. You're off. You're done.
Yes.
Like that might be even just.
Does the insurance go down for the school because he then has to take it on? I mean, that's fine. But Joey Aguilar's lawyer said within this case, he probably lost out on $2 to $3 million guaranteed from revenue sharing and NIL.
I believe that.
So,
I
mean, it's not a shock that these.
But that's
people
not his fault.
I mean,
that's not Tennessee or the NCAA's fault that he did, right? Like the situation he went through was obviously different than other people. Everybody's story is different, but like to say like, oh well, I went to a JUCO, or that's what was Pavia's thing, right? I went to JUCO and that was money earning years that I wasn't there. That's because you didn't have the offers. You weren't good enough. You weren't ready at that point.
Yeah,
that's just kind of like the nature of the battle.
We can't cancel these JUCO years, like you said. Like you weren't good enough out of high school, or sometimes kids' grades weren't good enough to get into a Division I school. And I'm sorry, but that's your own problem.
You played college football.
It's the name of the game, man.
It is the name of the game. We can't just give grievances for these kids who just get to play JUCO and then earn their way up. Let's just take advantage of the 2 years you do get at the Division I level. And you can't do the age thing either, because there's those guys who I actually think they can play, like those BYU guys who exhaust maybe 2 years of eligibility. They redshirted, they practice, they go on their mission trip. They didn't actually use eligibility and they come back like 25 or 26. So you can't put an age limit on it necessarily either. So I don't know where you draw the line. And
I feel like that's such an outlier too. Like that's such a niche thing from
it's
just
specific
that
to
school.
BYU.
Like just that school.
If you were
like
at a school,
Utah.
Yeah, if you're at a school, JUCO 1, 2, 3, NAI is probably tricky too. I don't really want to. We'll just stay in the NCAA realm. And you don't redshirt or medically redshirt, right? I think they're saying you should default get 5 is what they're pushing for, right? Is what I think a lot of the coaches are saying. You should get 5 no matter what. So you get 4. You should, if you don't use a redshirt year or have a medical redshirt, you get 4. Maybe you get 5 with the new thing. But we can't keep pushing this because you are at smaller schools. That is part of the process, right? This can't become, oh, you were at a JUCO, oh, you were at a D3. That doesn't count. No, it does count, because that it's just how it operates. You can't say, like, because other people who have, do you think there's kids that are going D1 to D3 and being like, can I have a 6th, 7th year just because they don't want to go get a job? Probably not, because they're going to make more money getting a job than they are D3. But I don't know, man. It's those count to me. Like they can't not count.
And the COVID stuff is getting tricky still, and I can't believe we're still doing. It seems like so long ago that COVID years around, and a lot of people are.
It was 6 years ago, Jake. It doesn't seem like it was. It was quite a bit of time ago.
In like 2 weeks, it happened. Like in 2 weeks from, it was like when everything broke. Not even maybe.
So I think maybe once we get over the COVID stuff, like using that COVID year as an excuse, we might eliminate a lot of these appeals. But man, I thought that was going to be over this year, and it's still lingering around.
I think, and it goes hand in hand. Like, as much as we say it may suck in this case if you're a Tennessee fan, look at what Indiana just did, right? Oldest team in college football, whether or not it was at James Madison or at Indiana or from other schools, that attributed to a lot of that college football experience. So, yeah, it's not a shock that these teams want those guys that have been around 6, 7 years and maybe don't want to go into the NFL. It's not like Joey Aguilar is probably going to start for the Vikings next year. So you're going to continue to get these cases until more clear-cut rules come out of it. But that is Joey Aguilar and his denied injunction to stay at Tennessee for the 2026 season. We'll continue to cover players as they file these and hear back on them, because they will be a part of the sport come next season. Let's move to the next point. That's Thomas Hammock, the head coach at NIU, departs the school to go coach running backs for the Seattle Seahawks. It's an organization he has been a part of. He has been a part of the NFL before. That is where he came from. Not the biggest standout record in his tenure at NIU. Obviously, the big win over Notre Dame put him on the map. You heard his colorful comments all offseason long, right? About what NIL was doing to the sport, how he would do it again as a college football player for free, because it's not about making the money. It's about the life lessons. Very G5, very not advanced. And people, frankly, reading into it, sounded like NIU fans thought he was going to maybe be on the hot seat as they enter the Mountain West in 2026. He's not anymore. An interesting twist to this story before I take the gents' thoughts. NIU immediately hires an interim coach, so their players are not eligible to hit the transfer portal quite yet. They will be after 31 days after the news dropped, which I believe was, 9 days ago, gents? So we still have a couple of weeks. In my mind, I don't think that's a crappy move if you're NIU, just because it gives you a chance to have those conversations before people just jump ship. But people were kind of in a stir about it. So what are your overall thoughts on this move? Maybe his comments from the G5 perspective that made him take this leap back into the NFL. He's expected to be one of the highest paid position coaches when it comes next season for NFL football. JP.
Yeah, I think you lose a guy, like Park said, that really wanted the best for college football. And he's not the only one. I don't know if you guys feel the same, but following certain college football reporters and national reporters, I feel like this year we've seen more assistant coaches across the country take NFL jobs more than ever before. Maybe I'm just seeing more of it. Maybe it's just in my feed more, but this is the most I feel like I've seen. And it is just It's tough to see because you want good coaches and good people in the sport. And at its toughest point, you're getting less and less of them, more leaving for the NFL where it's a more structured calendar. You know what you're getting. And you're not really living in a world where you don't even know if you're going to play in the same state in a year from now because of conference realignment. Your players are getting paid more than you. And at a college level, obviously it's going to happen at the NFL level too. And you're just like, you're in a world where people feel like it's just a stepping stone to the next thing in their life. And it's a little tougher to teach a kid and have a kid learn something from you in this situation. But losing someone that outspoken and who's that passionate about it, I think is tough. And then for me, like, yeah, he probably wins and losses wise was not what NIU's used to. That's not what they do. Before his tenure, obviously, is a little different. They were winning a lot of football games. They were top dog in the MAC for a lot of those years. And they were going to go into a Mountain West where teams honestly would probably have their number. It's not the Mountain West that we expected them to when it was initially announced, but this is still going to be a Mountain West with a North Dakota State in it, with a Wyoming trying to find its footing again, with a New Mexico team that seems to have found its footing, a Hawaii team that's up and coming. Like, it wasn't going to be an easy life for them, but it just kind of stinks to see, in my opinion. You feel like you lose a good one in humans and really standing up for what college football should be.
I think a part of it also that goes into it is the situation where we've talked all season long and throughout last season, where the sport is becoming more NFL-like, like as much as you may hate it. But payroll's involved now with revenue sharing. You've had these conversations during the offseason, players leaving because there's more opportunity elsewhere. And you didn't have the stipulation like the NFL does behind these contracts. So it becomes exhausting. And I can't imagine at these G5 positions where it's a constant fight with your best players who would easily be retained within the NFL majority of the time, pretty much not be able to be retained if you're NIU. So I think it's a consistent move you're going to see from G5 coaches that maybe aren't, top tier, that are going to move up to these Power 4 schools. We'll see where it goes from there, but I definitely think you're going to see more of it, especially from those lower tier coaches, because they're going to make the same, if not more money as a position coach in the NFL if they have that opportunity. What do you think, Jake?
I think Jeff Athley opened a lot of doors to this opportunity now. I think it has encouraged a lot of coaches to kind of make that jump. And if you guys don't remember, Hafley was the head coach at Boston College, left to take the Packers DC job, if I remember right. And now he's the head coach for the Dolphins this year. And what was a 2 or 3 year turnaround from him leaving Boston College. So I think a lot of coaches now he kind of felt like the first one where it was like really eye opening. And now coaches are like, they just see the job security, or at least the financial security of just taking the jump to the NFL if they can, and avoiding just as much as we love college football, just avoiding the everyday chaos and 365-day job that is a college football coach, because you're constantly recruiting, you're constantly trying to keep your roster together. And the NIU side of things, I don't think there's any other option than just to promote within right now and try to put a Band-Aid on it. You're already transitioning to a different conference. And they need a guy who at least players are familiar with. And by getting this guy in, you hope it keeps the roster somewhat together, because it's a guy that players are familiar with. We'll kind of see how that turns out in a few weeks when they figure out, like, did they want this assistant coach to get the job? We'll have to wait and see. But it's just kind of like, it's going to be a really weird year for NIU. And right now, I don't think you can spend 30 days trying to go and hire somebody and trying to figure out all that out with on top of the transition into the Mountain West. You just kind of have to get through it and kind of circle back next year. Kent State lost their head coach middle of the spring last year, promoted within, and it worked out all right. So we'll see if that happens for the Huskies too.
Reese.
Well, you mentioned the Boston College. We also got, was it Jesse Minter and Mike McDonald, like 2 other guys who just were coordinators in college who now are in the NFL, who have had coaching gigs. Like, there's that too talk about, but it's also, I mean, you got to think about it. I feel like it's got to be weird to be a head coach or a coordinator or whatever it is in college, and you literally are coaching kids that are getting paid more than you. Like, I feel like a lot of the power sits with the players. So, like, I don't know if that's just kind of like a dynamic that some guys struggle with too. And like, I like Summerall's quote. I don't know if you guys saw that one where he's talking to some of his players, like, oh, it's hard, it's hot, like, I don't want to do these things. And Summerall's literally like, shut up, dude. Like, you're getting paid. You're a professional athlete. Like, shut up, do what you're supposed to do. Because, I mean, imagine you're the 5-star who's getting like $1.5 million and you're going up against, you have the little 3-star walk-on who's in the same routes as you who wishes he could be in your shoes. Like, yeah, you're getting paid, so do your job. So like I just feel like in NFL you're dealing with 20 plus old people who are more mature and getting paid like, no, this is a job versus your 18, 19, 20-year-olds who like, we know how dumb we were when we were that way. If we're getting that much money and you want to guys like kind of opt out of stuff, like I couldn't imagine coaching that would be the most fun.
NIU a public university? I've assumed so, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anybody know the Hammock salary off the top of their mind?
1.3.
God damn.
I Google. Do you know what the
your guess?
Total compensation of approximately $628,000 to $708,000 annually. 1.3 sounds high, but good. That's I mean, it's not like he barely scraping by.
I look at the average salary for a running back coach. You know what it is? The range.
One something.
In the NFL, it's 150 to 500 grand.
Barely scraping by.
But he's the highest paid. He's the highest paid.
Well, he's getting more because he's also going to be he's like the senior offensive assistant, I think is what I saw. So he's getting paid more for that. But still, like, I mean, you're getting a lot of fucking money either way you're going to go coach. So like, unless you're one of the top coaches getting like $1 million or something like that, I don't think, I'm getting 500 grand to coach Kent State. Like, is it that much different to go coach the defensive backs of the Miami Dolphins? Like, I don't know.
If you're making 700 grand in DeKalb, Illinois, there is no shot there is a more expensive house than what you are parked up in, Thomas. There is no shot. I mean, you are building a mansion at that place for a portion, right? So I think the situation is crazy. It's obviously sucks because I think the advocacy for the G5, I think being at his former program, he was a star player at NIU. Just the story kind of stings, but not stunning. I think, like I said, I think it's going to be a common theme because this is a rough job these G5 coaches now have with retention year over year of their best players. All right, let's move to the next point. Staying on coaching, let's talk a positive note. Curt Cignetti, the national champion, Curt Cignetti at Indiana, gets a raise to $13.2 million a year. Also, I'm sure he's very comfortable in Bloomington, Indiana. That matches Kirby Smart's money. The highest paid coach in college football is now tied between Kirby Smart and Cignetti. Obviously, with bonuses paid differently, they'll probably end up one or another on top of each other at come year's end. But not stunning news. Good news, not crazy. Obviously, with the alumni network they have, it was kind of expected. I just didn't know if maybe people thought it was going to be this high. What did you think, JP?
I wrote two things down, right? Winning pays and winning costs nowadays at the same time. Yeah. So to keep them around, you gotta pay them. If you want to win, you gotta spend money, and it also pays to win. And he's done a little bit of both. Both sides of that coin.
Hand in hand.
Can they still do like lifetime contracts? Like you remember when Calipari had a lifetime contract at Kentucky? Can they do that?
I have zero idea.
Like I don't know why they. Just
why would you not be able to though? Because why he probably wouldn't sign one.
Yeah, I don't know if he'd sign one. I mean, with some of these buyouts, I feel like you want a buyout somehow within your clause. Because, like, there's a list out there that USA Today put out, which is where I made that graphic from coaching salaries of last year, where their buyouts were listed for the top, 50 coaches in college football. Some of them were excess of $75 million. Like,
Jimbo's still getting paid.
Coach sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good. I can't lie. I mean, they're collecting checks after doing horrible things against their job.
Well, didn't Jerome Tang was the one to say the best highlight of a coach or something is to get that extension or get that contract extension and then just get fired.
Yeah.
And then he got fired 2 weeks ago or whatever. So yeah, I don't feel sorry for these guys.
No, not one bit. But this is good news. No. Reese, what did you think on the Cignetti news? Shocking. Did you think it was going to be to that level, or do you think it could have been around? I mean, because it wasn't. I believe last year it was 775 is what he made. So still $7 million. But I mean, yeah, that $8 million is going to go a long way.
It's nothing to blink at, but I mean, Curt needs to, I'm sure he's a smart individual, but he also needs to thank his agent for whatever the hell they put in fine writing to because I think it was written down, if he makes a college football playoff and has a win, wins it, they're going to match the top coach. That's a thing that I don't know if Curt thought of or his agent thought of, get that down in writing. Hats off to that guy because that's just smart and believing in yourself. But I mean, it makes sense. Like JP says, it pays to win, and you got to pay if you want to win. Do you want to keep this guy around? Because who knows if Alabama or one of these SEC schools is tired of looking at the Big Ten and Indiana winning. Are they going to go get this guy 15 a year? Like, you want to keep him around, but give him the money. So,
can you imagine the face made by the Indiana representatives, athletic director, the lawyer, when they asked for that written provisional, Reese? Hey, if I make a college football playoff game and win it, I'm going to get some extra money. Is that cool? They're probably like, is that in the plans? Is that in the cards? This is Indiana. And so they probably wrote it in without a second thought. Pay up, because here it comes. Yeah. And he definitely got paid. What do you think? Any thoughts on the move by Indiana? Does it shock you at all? I guess, Jake, it shouldn't.
There's 138 teams in college football now. I would say there's 133 college football teams out there. If your team wins a national championship, I don't care who's coaching. Like, pay them whatever you want, unless you're at like Ohio State, Notre Dame, LSU, Alabama, like where the resources are unlimited and you get tired of winning a national championship and losing maybe 4 years later, like LSU did with, good Lord, why am I blanking on his name? Orgeron. Yeah. So I'd pay him. I don't care. Like, pay him until he dies. I do not blame Indiana for whatever they're giving the guy.
It's also, he doesn't have Jimmy Sexton as his agent, so that's good. That it's not Jimmy Sexton driving up the market.
Is this not the best job? Was this not been the best job as if the offseason? I think any of these asshole NIL agents representing these players could have done this job. Like, hey man, we want some more money. Sounds good. How much do you want? Like, put down the number. This could have been done by anybody. You could have pulled a homeless guy off the street. He could have his contract.
You could have written out the number of McDonald's French fries, and they would have signed that. Signed it.
That sounds good. That sounds good. But all right, let's leave that there. Let's stay on coaches though, because I'm sure Curt Cignetti will be a part of the conversation that we're about to have, which is the point of tonight's show. That's the top 10 head coaches in college football. And Jake, I gotta preface this with a question. I feels like we're late to the game now, but did we not come up with this topic a week ago? Like top right after our show last week? Like this was going to be our topic this week.
I threw that out there at the end of the episode.
What the hell happened? Why does everybody do this week?
I guess I haven't seen that. Have other people been doing that?
Yeah, Joel Klatt, Pate, Brandon Walker. Yahoo Sports.
College football
was everywhere. I was about to text. Are we late to the game?
Yeah. It's just that week, man. Everybody's either re-upped the contract. We got a portal window done. You're kind of looking like, hey, we can look back at the year a little bit. It's time to do so.
Unbelievable that we're covering this topic a week ago and now it's big. So maybe they stole it from us. We'll have to maybe.
I work for all of them. I write their content.
We'll dish some more out to us first, asshole. All right, let's talk top 10 coaches in college football. The way we'll do this is we don't have any graphics on it. We're just going to talk through it. If you agree or disagree, anytime a name pops up, let us know in the comments who you think should be in that spot on your list. Let's start at 1 and go to 10. I feel like we're going to have more, or different answers or mixes as we go down the list versus the top. No?
Are we all going to have the same Mount Rushmore? We're all going to have the top 4,
can everybody go top 5? Because I feel like it
go 1,
should
2, 3,
be
4,
pretty
5.
similar.
We'll go next.
I bet all 4 of our top 4 will all be the same, and then 5 on we're all going to be different.
Yeah.
Okay. So top 4. Let's lead it. Jake, you came up with the topic. You give yours first.
I mean, I guess I should ask top 3. Does anybody not have Curt Cignetti, Kirby Smart, and Ryan Day in their top 3?
I do not.
Negative. You don't?
I do not. I have.
So you have somebody else.
Cignetti at 1. I have Kirby Smart at 2, and I have Dan Lanning at 3.
Wow. Okay. I decided to give the three. I was like trying to think of active head coaches who have national titles. Those are my 3. There's nobody else, right? I'm not thinking of it. Everybody else is gone.
Dabo.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Good
point.
Yeah.
Okay. The 3 current active head coaches who have national championships and have been able to adapt to this modern day of college football are in my top 3. Cignetti's 1. My criteria was maximizing the most of your current situation. There's not a single human in their entire job in America out of all the industries has maximized the most of what they could get out of their job than Curt Cignetti has done this year. It is an absolute, it's unheard of really what he's done, and it still needs to get appreciated. I still think Kirby's the second best coach in the league or in the country. Ryan Day, the argument, if I were to you, Parks, being Ryan Day and Dan Lanning, would be national championship. Beat Dan Lanning head-to-head last year. Yeah, both of them have pretty much unlimited.
They split last year, by the way.
Well, but beat him in the playoff when it mattered.
I'm just saying.
I'm glad you clarified. No, I'm glad you clarified. I kind of forgot about that. So both have unlimited resources. I'm just giving the nod to the one who has the title right now. That is just my argument.
Valuing a national championship does not hurt my feelings. I guess my comeback on why he's not in my top 3 and Lanning is I think Lanning, what he's done from the program he took over has been more impressive to me than what Ryan Day has done. I think you've heard the narratives. He's been on third base since he's got there. There's been a lot more conversations about Ryan Day losing his job than there ever has been Dan Lanning. Dan Lanning's been in the Big Ten now for 2 seasons, already won the sucker once, 26-3 as a head coach since 2022. And on the flip side, Ryan Day, 82-12 since 2019. He's been consistently a winner at Ohio State, but you'd be hard pressed to find a coach that's not. Right? It's a program that's never gone worse than 7-5 since their existence. And the questions from the fans, like there was a majority of people out there, would he have been named that if he didn't have his job after the Michigan loss 2 years ago? So I put Lanning above Ryan Day for those reasons, and I'll stand by. I mean, he's still in my top 5. I have him at 5. I'll clarify that.
Yeah, I also have Lanning in a similar situation. I selected Lanning just based on similar to what Park said was what you took and where you're at. Understand that his big glaring thing is those 2 playoff losses and really non-competitive losses, but that growth I think holds something. Obviously, also if we're pulling 3 to 5 or 3 to 4, we are picking the tiniest little threads. Like it's tiny stuff, right?
You just kind of have to. I think that's the point.
Yeah, and if I'm just saying from my criteria and what I was thinking, if I'm starting a new program and I need someone to do it, I'm probably hiring Dan Lanning first.
So Ryan Day's the other 2 in the top 5, I guess, for Parks. And JP. Who's the other?
I had Ryan
JP. You have
as well.
And you had 4. Marcus Freeman.
So I had Curt Cignetti 1, Kirby 2, Dan Lanning 3, Marcus Freeman 4.
Correct. Me too. I had Marcus Freeman at 4 as well. Marcus Freeman, it's more impressive resume.
We all have the same top 5, but we don't have the top. I thought we were going to all say the same top 4, but we have the same top 5.
Marcus Freeman, 43-12 in his time as head coach, consistent. Again, it's similar to kind of the feeling I get with Dan Lanning, where I'm a believer in his culture. Like if I'm starting a program, I'm taking Marcus Freeman over Ryan Day, and he's 14-6 against AP top 25 teams, which is one of the better records out there among this entire list.
Yeah, and for me, the Notre Dame thing is. Yes, they were recruited well with Brian Kelly and before that, but they've never recruited at this level. They've never retained at this level. I think that's a guy who has taken Notre Dame to a spot and has only built up to be better and better. So obviously we'll see down the road to put him ahead of Ryan Day. That's just kind of where I have it at this moment in time. Again, if I'm starting a program from scratch, who I'm hiring, where you started, where you are now. Again, we're pulling the tiniest little threads and tiniest little things.
I don't hate that argument, though. I don't hate that argument of Dan Lanning to start your program. I do like that.
Yeah, I would say the same thing for Marcus Freeman. I love that point.
Reese, what's your order then? Because everybody else is given theirs. Your top 5.
I have one that is yet to be mentioned as well, but keep going.
I got Curt, Kirby, Ryan Day, Dan Lanning, Marcus Freeman.
Gotcha.
I have, I guess, for anybody who doesn't have Marcus Freeman, I have Mike Elko above Marcus Freeman.
I have him right at number 6 for me.
For me, when I looked at my list, we'll get to the other guys, but like 4 through 7, it was so
That's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that.
No,
but enter that meme.
Elko at 5, because again, when I think of maximizing the most, I understand that A&M has unlimited resources, but Jimbo wasn't able to do it. A&M hasn't been able to win consistently.
He hasn't won consistently though. He's won 1 year with a schedule people didn't think was that tough.
But at Duke, but I mean, look what he did at Duke.
He's 22.
Yeah, that's fair. Manny Diaz won an ACC title.
That's what I'm saying. Look at Duke.
And what was the record the year before Elko took over? And
I'm just saying.
He's 22.
That was my rebuttal on it. That's my rebuttal on the Elko thing. Is his body of work at his current school is a year in which he had one of the easier schedules in the conference, a year in which he got to host a playoff game and looked non-competitive on like one side of the football kind of thing.
To maximizing the most of your opportunity, I think you're really limited with Marcel Reed as well. And I think to win 11 games with Marcel Reed
Am I wrong?
a
He's been there for
job.
2 years, no?
Yeah.
He's 22-4.
Yeah. Yeah, he's 22-4. He's won.
Incredible.
Like he literally was out of the SEC title this year just due to a weird tiebreaker. You had to go to Austin, play a Texas team who was much better in November than they were in September.
Are we handing out pity parties?
No, I'm just telling you, like
first 11-0 start since 1992.
Yeah, any other year or any other era, 11-1's getting you in your conference title. He just didn't get into one because of a weird tiebreaker. It's not an excuse. It's just
but any other era, he's not missing Alabama. He's not missing Georgia, and he's not missing Florida. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's getting the round robin. He's getting the schedule. He's not getting.
Yeah, but I also don't think with the performance they had in the playoffs, which was offensively lackluster, obviously, but like
there's that Miami defense was.
Yeah, he'd missed Georgia and Alabama, but he went to South Bend week 2 and he beat Marcus Freeman.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
So that's also where I have him there. And now again, like 4 through 7 can all get really changed quickly just based on this year because it's all super close on how we grade these guys. But right now, Elko is 5. And I said before, like the roster they have coming back, he has the ability to be a top 3 coach in college football for me next year if he can continue to elevate this the way I think he can. But Marcel Reed scares the hell out of me.
If they continue to recruit the way they do, hit the portal as well as they do, and then have on-field results, even through the toughest parts of it, and then win postseason games, yeah, absolutely, he could be top 3.
And then Marcus Freeman
to get on though
is 6 for me. And I asked
this, you're usually the Notre Dame guy.
I am, but it's funny. I asked you guys this question probably a month ago. I was like, "Is the 12-team playoff been super beneficial to Marcus Freeman?" Like, I don't think they're making the playoff last year because they lost to NIU and made the national championship run. Now they did anyways. They dealt with the cards they had, and I think Notre Dame's been much better under Marcus Freeman. And I love Marcus Freeman as a coach, but also again, maximizing the most. You still lost to Marshall at home. You still lost to NIU at home. You lost the first 2 games this year that cost you a playoff berth. He's not perfect yet. Or if he can just fix a couple of things, he can easily be a top 5 coach in the sport for me.
Fair enough. All right, 6 down the line for everybody else. No, 6 for you, JP. Who was 6? Yep.
I had Mario at 6.
Okay.
Now, this is similar to what you were just talking about with Freeman. Weird hiccups, makes no sense, bad coaching decisions.
Georgia Tech fumble game, yes.
He's taken a Miami program that kind of does have all the resources, has used them, has recruited at a higher level than they've seen in a millennium, it feels like, has now had the on-field proven results without any hiccups in what became, doing a Mario Cristobal type thing and losing a game late for no reason. And they hit the portal again. They get what they want. He's hired 2 great assistants after swinging and missing. Offensive defensive coordinator, his first hires there. He hits. I think that's a guy who gave Indiana all they could handle and more, with a guy at quarterback who really struggled to find his way in that game. And they go on the road and win at A&M. And then they get a tough draw and they play Ohio State and kind of handled them through most of it. And then you land into a semifinal, win that, and you're sitting there knocking on the door of a national title with a real shot to it, man. I think that's worth it.
I have Cristobal at 7, but I want to ask this question: is if the committee decides to put Notre Dame in over Miami, is he top 10 on our list this year?
Because now you've lost 4 data points, so probably not, because he doesn't get the chance.
That's just what came. Right? That's what came to mind.
I don't have him in my top 10.
No, he's not.
See, Reese doesn't see. That's why I was like, that's why I have him at 7 instead of Freeman.
I'm at 8
because he won that. You're like, he won the head-to-head against Elko and Freeman this year. Yes, but if he doesn't make the playoff this year by the committee standards, I don't know if he's top 10 on my list. I know that's super recency bias for me to say, but
he did the right thing. Like JB talked about, like the coordinators, like building from the trenches out, where like he has done a hell of a job. But yeah, he does have the more noticeable hiccups in like the Miami football in November, like the mishaps and like things just happened to go their way at the end. They played football very well at the end, but it just kind of trindled off when it was like November. And then they get the plug in the end to go play very well. But
he also has to get the benefit of the doubt of taking Miami out of where they were. Like they were
what a great point, JP.
Like they're
35-19.
Yeah.
He's 35-19 as the
They should win all the time. They got all the resources. Look at all the talent down there in Miami. Look at all the talent and money they got at Coral Gables. This program is 10x what it was.
What year did he take over?
22. 21 or
21. I'd say
35 and 19. I believe.
What was the year that Manny Diaz and that Miami team was disgusting? Because was Manny Diaz fired like the year after? Because like I don't think he was that far removed from the team being like awful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but this is the closest
I get it. I get it
into the U.
Yes, 100%.
They weren't even competing for conference titles. They weren't competing for anything nationally. And when they played upper tier competition, they were getting slapped around.
Well, what was the because we watched Notre Dame, Miami, and Miami ransacked Notre Dame because we watched Sammy Huska Sammy Huska to throw under the bus. But like this is when maybe they dwindled off at the end of the year.
That was Miami started off.
I believe Miami started off the year like super hot. This is when the turnover chain came out and all that stuff, and like Miami was popping, and then they didn't finish off the year so hot. But I thought they had a hell of a year that year at least.
I want to say it was 2019, but I understand what you're saying, right? They had a good year, but then I believe the next
22 was his first season. They went 5-7.
So Mark Richt was fired after the 18 season.
18 season. Diaz
was 19. Manny Diaz's best year was 7-5.
8-3.
Okay, never mind. I thought they had a better year.
So maybe, but still a great win, right? A resume that you can, a resume builder you can put on there for Manny Diaz. Yeah, COVID football was a different.
This is before the hiring of Cristobal. Obviously, his first year was not good.
I think JP makes a great point, though. I mean, they weren't even remotely near what they are now.
They were not good. Yeah, it was not.
They won 13 games.
It's fair.
All right, next point 7. Or anybody not have anybody listed at 6? I guess 6. I should say my 6. And maybe this feels high now with the names I've heard. I have Lane Kiffin at 6, gents.
I'm at 7.
55 and 19 at Ole Miss.
I have him at 7.
I had him up there.
Dominates the portal. Slots. Excellent recruiter. And I don't think, again, this is kind of a similar situation. I don't think he got enough credit for doing it at a school like Ole Miss. Like, obviously, Mississippi State being down benefited him. But part of the reason Mississippi State being as down as they were is because Ole Miss pounded them year after year.
If we're doing the whole this is a coaching job thing and not just on-field results, we can't dismiss the burning of the bridges, how many players that probably come out of that, like, are we serious kind of thing, and the rub off that gives people. So, like, you are a coach, not just X's and O's, not just on the field, wins and losses.
I almost feel
you're saying he's low on your list because of the more ethically, like, what he just did.
Well, yeah, and he has 0 college football playoff appearances.
Mm-hmm. You ran away from your one.
No.
Okay.
I'm with you, JP.
Does not count. I'm with you. You don't get to get it. And his best team that he had at Ole Miss lost to a Kentucky team that won 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
So yes.
Are you thinking got the most Ryan Day's first college football playoff appearance out then? Because that technically wasn't his team. I feel like this would go 2 ways. Would Pete Golding's been to the college football playoff?
Yes.
Okay.
He voluntarily chose not to coach that football team.
And now he's got to go prove it at LSU where you don't make it in 2 years.
He doesn't get credit for the wins, but you should get credit for the team going.
Yeah,
you shouldn't get credit for the wins, but you should get credit for the team going.
Not in my book when you quit a job like that. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
He's 9, but yeah, he could be higher, Parks, but just to some of the points for
a lot of people have him in the top 5, and I get it, but
I had him outside of that.
My criteria, which
I'll argue that he shouldn't be in that, but yeah, I have 7.
He's also failed more than all these other coaches at other.
Anybody different at 6 outside of Lane and Mario?
I had 6 Elko, 7 Lane. So
okay, we already mentioned those guys. 7, I have Sark.
I have Sark.
Sark's not in my top 10.
Okay, that's fair. But here's why, and I'm glad JP said it the way he did, is Sark's 48 and 20 at Texas. But I feel like this is another story where it really hasn't been an appreciation of what Texas, some of the downfalls Texas had before, what they're playing like consistently now. Like, there is no, this was a program that they were losing to Kansas, but they've grown into this now where they're winning games against really good opponents within the SEC. Georgia, the A&M game last year. I mean, that was a good-ass A&M team. So I think right now, actively what he has going at Texas, and they made a run in the college football playoff just a couple of years ago. And I don't think the appreciation for this downfalls that Texas has been, like the amount of times you think back and you see the Sam Ehlinger, like, we're back meme, people tweeting it as a joke. Like, they're pretty damn good year over year now under him.
I see both sides of this. I see both sides of this argument. For me, it's It's 2 college football playoff losses, one in a semifinal, or 2, I guess, 2 technically in the semifinal, right, in the 14 playoff with Washington, and one of my favorite college football games that we've seen. Late game, right? Had a chance to win it late, right? You have a chance to go in and drive and beat that Ohio State team that looked invincible, and you just end up in a weird spot. I mean, you're not going to block Jack Sawyer off the edge. Quinn Ewers had 0 time. They're 2 plays away, and you could say a play away from losing Arizona State too. I understand that, but 2 plays away from playing for 2 national titles. They've recruited at one of the best clips in the country for over his tenure at the portal wise. I know he has the money. I know he has the ability. I get that. But he's also grown players there. Like, there's some homegrown talent that he's brought in that has stayed there and made them better. They've also become more in the trenches like they weren't before. Yes, he's lacking the SEC win or that kind of thing. But he got a Big 12 title before he left. I mean, that counts for a little bit of something. It's a conference title.
And also, I think last year's a great example of that's a team that could have packed it in on the national stage. And they were playing meaningful games towards the end of the year to make a case for themselves.
That's a team that looked lifeless mid-year.
Yeah.
Like, what's happening?
Can I change my list? Can I flip them out?
We don't even know your whole list.
Well, I'm just saying. I would flip out. This is.
Can I cheat on this test? Go ahead.
I'd flip out Kiffin for Sark. For Sark. Now, the more we talk about it, I agree to a lot of the points.
Did you have Sark? You said Sark not on your list.
Sark is not in my top 10.
It works.
But you had Kiffin at 6 or 7.
Got it.
I had Kiffin at 9.
Oh, okay. I thought you had him. I was like, that's quite the jump.
I wanted to hear your other side in your argument to not have him on the list, though.
Yeah, Reese, you have him?
I have him 9.
Okay, so you had him. Jake, what was your reason initially?
The original, it's again maximizing the most of your opportunity. I think the way Lane Kiffin's turned the Ole Miss program around is a much tougher test than what Sark has done, and I get it. It's like the crystal ball argument. Texas wasn't Texas of old before Sark got there. I get that, but guys, the money they have is just ungodly compared to what even Ole Miss has. And so for that reason, I would keep Kiffin above Sark originally in my original top 10.
But Sark this is his first real test at being a head coach. Lane Kiffin has proven losses and failures at the position. Now his most recent one was
Sark's at USC too, wasn't
he?
Washington. And Washington.
The whole thing for me is that I just feel like if you put them side by side, who are you hiring tomorrow? Like if they were both on the market,
that's where that's probably where I would go Sark. But
there's one clip of Sark that I can't stand where like they're about to go out to the field
and he yells at the media guy.
The media guy is like, no, not
don't
yet.
Touch me. Don't touch me.
He's just
bro.
mother effing him left and right.
Touch
and
me.
like,
yeah.
Sark, calm down, dude. You're
bad
you don't
clip.
have pads on. You're not
bad
calm
clip.
down.
I think there's no
I think Cristobal would have done that towards the end of the year
too,
too, though. I don't know if you guys noted that, but towards the end of the year, towards those playoff games, Cristobal was getting chippy with people.
He was.
They call that Cuban coffee is a little bit different.
Yeah, it is.
Sark and Kiffin are now on even playing fields this year, so I guess maybe just keep Kiffin at 9, and we'll figure out who's the better coach this year. There's no excuses on either one.
My clap back to you is you just didn't want to kick off this Arch Manning Heisman campaign you're about to launch all off season.
Yeah, and not have Sark in my top 10. I know, right? Well, I think Texas is if we were doing a way too early national championship pick, I think I'm picking Texas. But
we'll
see.
We've already talked about my next 2 coaches. 8, I have Cristobal. 9, Mike Elko. Elko's a great call. I would accept him in the top 5, Jake. I like that. 22-4, 2 seasons should not be batted an eye at because that was a program that had some struggles beforehand. First 11-0 start since 1992 last year. No matter who you're playing, especially within the SEC, winning 11 games straight, it's not an easy thing to do. Yeah. So those are my 8 and 9. 10, I have one that may be an argument. So I'll kind of let you guys. Anybody else at 8 and 9 on your guys' list that we haven't already mentioned?
I got DeBoer thrown in there.
Okay.
Where at?
I still think I got him at 8 because I have him over Sark for the head-to-head. I still think, yes, it's Alabama. It's your 2 years. You're getting into it. I think this year will be the test. Like this, after this year, we'll determine that this guy is a top 10 coach or not.
Yep.
Like if like next year, he's going to be an honorable mention. Like I still think he's going to be a top 15 coach. But if you struggle to get Alabama this year, like you still can't dismiss like what he did with that Washington team. a couple of years ago. Like that Oregon team that he beat twice, to once at home and then once to win the Pac-12 championship. And then like you go beat that Texas team who Sark we just talked about. And then Michigan was just Michigan that year. Like I still think that Kalen DeBoer Washington is a damn good team that people just kind of forget about, and just what's going on these couple of years at Alabama. I still think he's a damn good football coach. Surrounds himself with good guys. It's just he's got to kind of get this SEC stuff figured out. Like I have him just over Sark because I just still think that head-to-head matters. And I still think too, like now that I think, I don't know if it was JP or Shape mentioned it, but like if you're looking at like who would you hire like on this list, like I think I'd rather have DeBoer over Sark. I'd rather have, like, as I'm going up, I'd rather have the guy over the other one that I'm kind of ranking. So
that's a good basis point for any of this. Quick sidebar. I saw an article as I was looking through other lists that came out this week where an ESPN college football writer, to not be named, did list DeBoer in his top 10 and said that he was, I believe it was 67-3 at NAIA Sioux Falls, which is just factually incorrect. I mean, know your leagues.
What? No, they were NAIA. When they won national championships, they were NAIA. They beat Morningside numerous times.
Yeah, but the way it ended, they were Division II. They've been Division II for quite a bit of time.
I don't think they were Division II when he was coaching. I'm almost positive.
I don't have any idea.
Check that. Jim Rome, check that.
I know they switched, but I have no idea.
There you go. There's your
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the ESPN guy gets paid and I don't for a reason. So
there's your history.
We'll throw that out
there's
there.
Your history lesson.
All right,
I had 9.
Go. Yeah, 9. Sorry.
I had Whittingham at 9.
Okay, Whittingham makes his first 10. Appearance. I
have one I would argue above him, but I don't want to hear the blowback I'd get for it.
I think like our 1 through 5s, they're all like 1 through 3 is pretty much the exact same. 4 and 5 can be interswitched, but like then our 6 through like 9, I feel like you can like interchange any of them, like pretty much. And then 10 through honorable mentions.
JP, who is that name you didn't want to get blowback on? Because it's probably my 10.
I have not named number 8 yet.
Okay, who's number 8?
How about Kyle Whittingham's predecessor, Kalani Sitake, at number 8? Why? I think
for what BYU is, he's exceptional.
4 10+ win seasons in the last, I believe, 6 years is what I counted. And the job that he has done these last 2 seasons transitioning to a league after they've been independent for a long time doesn't get enough credit. Guys, he had a freshman quarterback step in the middle of August. And he lost to one team this year in Texas Tech, who's got, at least as of right now, double the NIL budget. Penn State he was on Penn State's top 3 list for coaches that they wanted.
That they told us about.
Yeah, sure. I think the maximum, and guess what? He's won the last 2 against Kyle Whittingham, if I remember correctly. So I'm not saying Kyle Whittingham's not a top 10 coach, but just again, the last couple of years is a top 10 list in 2026. Kalani Sitake is proven to be a much more progressive coach.
100% would be in the top 15, probably towards the top of that at 11 or 12 for me. 100% a fair answer. But JP, who were you talking about that you didn't?
I didn't put him on my list.
Oh, I'll probably say his name. I put Dabo Sweeney at 10, Jens.
I have Sweeney at 10. But that's not.
Dabo Sweeney is a top 10 coach in college football.
Right now, no.
It is such a recency bias for you.
Let's ask the question.
He won the ACC a season ago. It's 1 year.
Ask the question again.
And was in a
would you start a program with him?
This is at 10. If I get to 10 and I'm starting a college football program.
Yeah. He's been around the game. When I started, Kirk Ferentz is a good term coach in college football. When I started a program with him now, no, he's been around for 40 fucking years. Like that's not.
I mean, Kyle Whittingham is the same. Kyle Whittingham's kind of the
for what he's done at a program. It's such a recency bias to kick Dabo Sweeney down. Like, yes, right now you're thinking, yes, the way they're trending and what they looked like with Cade Klubnik and the preseason hype. How do you feel good about Dabo Sweeney? Well, don't be shocked when this team plays an ACC title next year because the guy's proved people wrong from his start of his tenure at Clemson.
Also, I will be shocked.
here's my Kalani Sitake thing. This is obviously not saying he's a bad coach by any means in saying that.
Sounds like you're about to say that.
Yes, he's had the good couple years here recently, but he's also been a part of really bad years at BYU.
He was 4-8 the 1 year they transitioned to the Big 12. They went 7-6 in another year.
7-6 good, or like I'm just saying it also independent, and they weren't playing. They weren't playing the schedule they're playing now even. Right.
If we want to pull 1 or 2 bad years, what about Sark? Like Sark didn't, and Cristobal didn't go 500 in his first year at Miami.
I don't
like,
think you're putting them on the same playing field. I don't think you're putting on the same playing field. BYU has the same money these people have.
It's a lot tougher to recruit to BYU than Texas. No, like money aside.
AJ DeBonsa goes to BYU now, guys. It's not as hard as you think it is.
I mean,
that's
doesn't matter. They have the money. They have the money.
It's different. Like Iowa State football and basketball recruiting are two different things. Like,
was Bear Bachmeier recruited to Texas or Georgia? Or like, where did Bear Bachmeier play to the level without elite coaching?
Stanford.
I'm just saying. I'm not.
What he does.
I wouldn't put him in my top 10 coaches. I'm not saying he's a bad coach, guys. There's 138 jobs out there. Being in the top 20 is incredible.
Sidebar, I was looking at the list of salaries, Matt Rule being 15th on that list and getting the put out that we do.
Yeah.
Made me sick to my stomach.
I don't know.
Hey, you know what I know who's 14? Dion. So there's other programs out there paying some money for some not great results as well.
I think that there are coaches out there who fit into this list that I just barely left out. So like if I have Whittingham at 9, Dabo at 10, if we're doing the whole works here.
I got to sneak you on.
I'd say Reese.
He's not my 10, but I have my 10 is Whittingham for me. But like my honorable mentions, I debated like just throwing one of these guys at 10 just like we could have some parity or whatever. But go ahead, Chafe.
I just like my definition when I started this was maximizing the most of what you can get. And Matt Campbell's at 10 for me. And he could very well be 20 if he goes 7-5 in the Big Ten next year. That's fine. But I just don't. He can leave a sour taste in my mouth, but I have a hard time believing there's not many better coaches out there than him at this point.
I had Kirk Ferentz in there.
At 10 or honorable mention?
I had honorable mention.
Campbell's 10 for me. He's on my list.
I don't know.
He's the one I threw in there. I was like, I'd get a lot lot of blowback. Like
that was the guy
in that. James Franklin's still on my list.
Campbell could be like 20, top 20, maybe.
If you okay, can I respectfully say? Can I respectfully say if he's not in your top 15, I just don't know if I agree, especially top 20.
What about one James Franklin?
It's a good name to debate about.
High honorable mention for me. He'd sit in my 15 easy.
I didn't think about him, but he'd be up there.
For me, like Franklin or Campbell could be in the same conversation as Franklin in a year. If he can't make the playoff like Franklin, that's fine. But I think Franklin's had all the opportunity the last few years. And he got to a semifinal last year, 2 years ago, granted beating SMU and Boise State. But well, like I said, we'll just have to wait and see for Campbell. He goes 9-3 or 8-4. And yeah, he's probably the naysayers are right about him. And he's not in my top 15.
Okay. I won't say top 20, top 15.
We're missing. I have 2 more on my list. Parks, do you have honorable mentions we haven't mentioned?
No, I think everybody that would have been just outside of my list has been named, but Whittingham would probably be 11 for me, and definitely one that I'm intrigued to see this year. But I just,
I had
John Summerall.
I'm trying to process the Campbell.
Yeah, I had Summerall on here.
Summerall's on my honorable.
How is Ferentz or Campbell? Neither one of them are worth honorable mention in a top 10 list because that puts them anywhere from 11 to 20.
I'd maybe have Ferentz in. I'd probably have Campbell.
That's crazy when Nebraska wanted Campbell 3 years ago.
Nebraska isn't just me. I'm not representative of that fan base, but yeah, I think. I mean, Curt Ferentz 30-60 all time against AP top 25 teams. 27 years, 0 outright conference championships. I'm not putting him on a list of top 15 coaches in college football. Matt Campbell, double-digit wins. What he's done for the program they're at, and this applies to both of them, is impressive, but I wouldn't put them at the top of the list. Like, these people that we're naming are, like, consistent.
That's why they're not on the list. That's why they're honorable mentions.
I know, but they wouldn't. There's 5 more people I could put in front of them that are doing better things.
I'd like given the guidelines you gave, I'd like you to give me 5 more.
If there was a coach out there that could consistently beat Oklahoma, Texas, and make multiple Big 12 championships at Iowa State, it would have been done 50 years ago, but there wasn't. So there was a guy that did it numerous times. And
but his fallbacks, which we've already harped on Sark and other coaches on this list for, are also pretty massive, like beating Oregon in the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl and then rolling out and going 7-5 is a hindrance on your coaching ability.
But that's relative. your downfalls are relative to where you are. And what
I was going to say,
really
Iowa State's consistently playing with like, we got a top mid 50s recruiting class year after year.
Yeah. Like they call the last 2 years at Georgia underwhelming, but they both won SEC titles.
Recruit better. Like
Nebraska sucked and can put in has had better class than that. They still sucked.
That's the point. That's the point. You can't like get people to play at Iowa State. It's not the easiest thing in the world.
We're still missing Kalani Sitake is easy. It's easy to get people to go to BYU and be Mormon and go on mission trips.
A lot easier. Proven over time.
BYU has a
one team's got a winning percentage of 30, and the other one's
winning
got a winning
history
in the 60s and 70s. 2 names were missing, by the way, in my opinion.
Okay,
Eli Drinkwitz.
Fair.
That's a good honorable mention. I don't know how you say no. Go with
the Missouri program. I didn't even think about him. That's a good one.
He's part of the rise up there and the funding. And they've been pretty damn good. Like, if you take it for what it is, like this year's Missouri team and the year before Missouri team, both pretty darn good. And then I have Rhett Lashley on here too. Now,
yeah, underrated.
Has he Lashley over to that in that peak, right? Like where you think SMU can be? Probably not. But they pay to keep him because they believe in him, and he's got more and more funding in there. He's got more and more money. He got them through the bump, right? Had his American Conference titles. Now he's kind of in a spot where they were an insane kick and one bad half away from an ACC title. Already been to a college football playoff. So I mean, I think Lashley is a hot commodity here in the next couple of years. It's just if SMU wants them to leave or not. And I don't think they do.
Can I throw a name out there that I'm asking a question? And this is not a biased play.
I have another question too afterwards.
Brent Key, are you putting him in top 20? Active right now?
Probably.
I can hear him.
Yeah, probably. Is Brian Kelly a top 20 coach in sports still?
I hate him so much. I can't even do it.
Like he doesn't. I understand he doesn't coach for a team, but I thought about putting this together.
It's fair.
Is Brian Kelly not a top 20 coach in the sport?
I was stunned nobody came back on that graphic of highest paid coaches last year. He was on it.
I think he's part of the similar, at a more extreme scale, of the Lane Kiffin thing, where like you've burnt so many bridges. I don't know if you would get hired necessarily, even though we've seen more coaches and more schools forget about your crappy past and hire guys than ever before in the last 5 years, any sport. But I don't know. Nobody's saying he's a bad coach, but I don't know.
This is a great one. Came in from AKC. How about this name, gents?
See, this one I struggled with. This is
a great debate point. Great coach.
I would put Braum over Key.
Why?
Ooh.
What is Braum giving you that Key hasn't necessarily?
You won football games at Purdue. It's kind of Campbell
Ohio
talk,
State, by the way.
But it's kind of Campbell talk too.
I don't know. Key hasn't had that job, so like
I know
Georgia Tech, but I mean the way they've competed against Georgia, like they're damn close to having that level of Purdue versus Ohio State win. Now, brand wise, you're probably not thinking a drastic fall off of Ohio State versus Purdue as you are Georgia versus Georgia Tech, but the way Georgia Tech was playing, gents, it was abysmal for a long time there.
And then
Braum's a good one. If we're going to do that,
he is great.
There's other names that should be above him. I think I'd hire Campbell and Ferentz before I hired Jeff Braum.
I got 2 names that now that I'm looking at them, I'm curious if you guys will throw them in your top 20. How about Lincoln Riley, Jeff Monken?
Lincoln Riley, higher paid coaches.
Lincoln Riley just can't like.
I mean, right now, it seems like a no, but he did have 3 Heisman winning quarterbacks. He did take that Oklahoma team to the playoff.
His knock though is that
USC.
It feels like he's descending more than ascending.
Would we still be top 20? Do you think?
Still pretty darn good.
They were good. No, I'm not saying I can't dismiss them and say they weren't a good football team, but it just feels like he should be having one of those years now that he can finally make the jump, especially in a 12-team playoff. And it just feels like he's descending to me more than ascending at this point.
We're dawning on we're just going to keep naming coaches until we say we don't think he's a good coach.
We're an hour and a half into this. Sidebar, JP, just to clarify, you're taking Campbell and Ferentz over Jeff Braum, though. So,
yeah. I think Ferentz has proven that he has.
Jeff Braum 4-1 all time.
Ferentz is really hard to judge. He's been and I'm not even saying this is a bad thing. It's super hard to judge when he's been. But he's basically the only guy in America that's not.
He wins.
How is he not? He's got his. He wins. version
he
of everything.
Wins. I wouldn't say he's adapted.
He wins.
I'd say he wins.
How is he not?
I would agree.
What is adapting to you though? Because he's gone and signed another class of 15 transfers. He just keeps more guys, so he doesn't have to go get 65 of them. He doesn't have the money that Michigan has, Michigan State has, Ohio State has, USC has.
Yeah,
UCLA
I don't even know if you can say Brom's adapted to it. He's almost over abused it. I mean, that they're bringing in 45 guys a year. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I think that's.
But just head to head, I think that's what people are going to blow back on you on is Brom 4-1 against Ferentz. But it's an argument you could hear. But we're going to name coaches all night if we stay on this. But our top 10 lists are out there. We'll make graphics for everybody so we can clarify it and post them out there. So make sure you follow us on all platforms at Play the Fight Pod. On X, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever you got, we got it. So give us a follow. We appreciate all the comments coming in. Friday, KC, GA, Justin.
Hype the video. Hype the video.
Hype the video. If you're on mobile, if you're on YouTube, click the hype button. We appreciate you being here. We'll see you next week. Shout out to our great partner, No Rivals. ShopNoRivals.com. Use the code PTFS at checkout for free shipping. Yes, Jake.
No, just before we go, there's 14 people here. Stop what you're doing. I have something really important to say. I know you don't subscribe. Do it right now. We're not leaving until you do. Subscribe to the channel.
We'll stay here all
video.
Night.
Hit the button.
Did you like the video?
Hit the button.
I'm watching
the doors until we get 2 million
in donations. The video?
I'm not leaving until someone super chats.
Don't leave. You're still here. We can see you. Okay, sounds great. Have a great rest.
We got somebody else. You subscribe too. Love you. See you next time.